Hello friends. In last video we discussed about the important physical division of Brazil, and that is the highlights. And in this video let us continue this physiographical division of Brazil with the Great Escarpments. My friend, Great Escarpments is the second important physiographical division of Brazil. Now, escarpments. What is meant by escarpments? Escarpments, it means the edge of the plateau. If you see this physical map of the Brazil, then we come to know that particularly the southeastern side of the Brazil is being controlled by the Great Escarpments. My friend, though if you see the area of the escarpments, it's quite small in nature, but the importance of the Great Escarpments in terms of climate and the physiography is very vast, and that is why although it is a very small area, the nature of its slope and the effect of the Great Escarpments on the Brazilian climate is very important, and so far that we are going to decide that this is one of the physiographical division of the Brazil. My friend, if you see these entire escarpments, then you come to know that the average elevation of the Great Escarpments towards east is near about 790 meter, and it towards as we go towards the west or the northwestern side of the Brazil, the height or the elevation is going to decrease. The escarpments, particularly, it start from Sao Paulo to Porto Alegre. Sao Paulo to Porto Alegre. In between these two places, the escarpments lies. And the most important thing of the Great Escarpments, that the Great Escarpments is a barrier. The Great Escarpment act as a barrier to the southeast trade winds and giving rise to the rain shadow area of the northeastern part of the highlands. If you see the location of the Great Escarpments, then you come to know that the wind which is coming from southeast, that is called the trade winds. And the importance of the trade wind is that the trade wind gives rainfall to the Brazil. But because of the Great Escarpments, that trade winds, most of the trade winds cannot cross the Great Escarpments. And so far that the Great Escarpments act as a barrier of rain. And so far that you come to know that the eastern side, or particularly the northeastern side of Great Escarpments, getting more rainfall, and as you cross the Great Escarpments, the rainfall, the percentage of the rainfall is reduced. And so far that we can see in the northern area, the rain shadow area is created, particularly in the northeastern part of the northeastern part of the Brazil. As we cross the Great Escarpments, we will find a rain shadow area, and this rain shadow area is also known as Drought Quadrilateral. Drought Quadrilateral. Drought Quadrilateral. It means what? It means the area which is created as a rain shadow area. Why? Because of the Great Escarpments. How? Because the wind which is coming from southeastern side, that wind is coming from the Atlantic Ocean, particularly South Atlantic Ocean, and that wind having a great amount of moisture. But because of the Great Escarpments, the wind cannot cross the Great Escarpments, and they give a heavy shower to the southeastern side of the Great Escarpments, and it creates the rain shadow area in the northeastern side of the escarpments, and that rain shadow area is known as Drought Quadrilateral. So this is the Great Escarpments. One small homework to you. Did you know the world's biggest escarpments? Just find out. The world's biggest escarpments. Now, after escarpments, let us move towards the coastal area of the Brazil. As like the coastline, the Brazilian coastline also make a great impact on the Brazil. If you see the map of the Brazil, particularly the physical map of the Brazil, then you come to know that Brazil has near about 7,400 kilometer coastline. And that 7,400 kilometer coastline is divided into two parts, the northern part and the eastern part. Northern coastline and the eastern coastline. Particularly, the northern coastline extends from Ampa province in the north to Rio Grande do Norte. Northern coastline that we are talking about. This northern coastline started from Ampa province. Ampa is one of the states in Brazil. If you see this map, then you come to know that this is the Ampa, and it started from the northern coastline. Is started from Ampa province to the Rio Grande do Norte. This is the area that we can see. Uh, North coastline is in between Ampa to Rio Grande do Norte, and the eastern coastline started from Rio Grande do Norte to southeastern part of Brazil. Now, if you see the coastline of the Brazil that divided into two categories or two division, they have their different characteristics as well. Particularly, northern coastline is different characteristics, and the southern coastline they has the different characteristics as well. So let us see the northern coastline first. The northern coastline, that means the North Atlantic coastline of Brazil, and the most important characteristics of this coastline that we may find mouth of the river. Various rivers are there, too many rivers. Most important river that we can see, Amazon. Amazon join North Atlantic Ocean here, and that is why many rivers, Amazon, we know that when it comes towards the North Atlantic Ocean, it doesn't look like a one flow, but it separated into various flows, and that is why we can say many rivers or many flows joining North Atlantic Ocean here, and this is the low-lying area, the low-lying region, and because of the low-lying region, we know that a lot of delta has been created here, or that we can say because of the low-lying area, the river is flowing here is very slow. That is another characteristics of this northern coastline of Brazil. And because of the low line, we know that river can't flow very fast, and and due to that reason, this area is very important because of the Marajo Islands. Marajo Islands, we may find here Marajo Islands and the Sao Marcos Bay. Marajo Island at Sao Marcos Bay. Now, what is Marajo Island? Marajo Island is the one of the biggest river island in the world. Marajo Island, it means this island is created by river, and this Marajo Island is located in between the mouth of river Amazon and river Tocantins. It means these two, river Amazon and river Tocantins, create the Marajo Islands, and it is also one of the characteristics of the North Atlantic Ocean or northern coastline of the Brazil. So this is the northern coast of the Brazil. Basically, it is characterized by first one, the many mouth of the river. We may find many mouth of the river here because a lot of flows joining here Atlantic Ocean. Second, this is the low-lying area, and that is why we didn't find that water is flowing very fast here. Water is slowly entering into the Atlantic Ocean. Then the Marajo Islands and Sao Marcos Bay. These two important landforms that we can find here. These are some of the characteristics of the North Atlantic Ocean. Now let us move towards the south, or it is the eastern coast of the Brazil, particularly eastern side. As we cross Rio Grande do Norte, the eastern coast is started. Now this eastern coast has a number of small rivers. We know that because of the Great Escarpments, river do not comes or entered to the eastern side of the Brazil, because the slope of the Great Escarpments is towards north, and that is why the river which originate at the Great Escarpments and moving towards the south or east, they may join the Atlantic Ocean, but they are very small. The major river which join here at the South Atlantic Ocean, and that is Sao Francisco. Sao Francisco is a very important river which join Atlantic Ocean here. This part, or the characteristics of this Brazilian coast, is that number of beaches we may find here. sandy, white sandy beaches, beautiful beaches, which has a great attraction of the Brazil. Most importantly, in the northern coastline or the northern side of the Brazilian coast, there is no beautiful beaches, the beaches which attract the tourist because of the rivers, and it create a huge marshy land there. But in eastern coast or eastern coastline, there we may find one of the biggest beaches of the world as well, Mariana Beach, one of that, and that we may find here in the eastern coast of the Brazil. And the most important characteristics of the eastern coast of the Brazil, that beaches and the sand dune complex, a great sand dunes that we may find at the coastline here, and that is one of the attraction of the southern coastline of the Brazil. That is the beaches, beautiful white sand beaches and the sand dune complexes. A great sand dunes that also we may find at the eastern side of the Brazil or eastern coastal line of the Brazil. And the another characteristics that we may find here, that is coral reefs and atoll islands. Lot of coral reef is been we may find here, and atoll type of islands as well. So in this video we discuss about the two important physiographical division of Brazil, that is the Great Escarpments and the coast. Both have their own characteristics, both have their own importance as well. In the next video, we are going to discuss the another important characteristics of the Brazilian physical division, or important type of Brazilian physical division, and that is the plain.